In a world where you can do anything. I said anything. Is this seriously all you can do? Okay, let's take this from the top. In a world where you can do anything. Technology. Magic. And much more are at your disposal. Explore new realms. Shape the world. And find your balance. Welcome to Modded Minecraft.
Hello everyone, my name is Direwolf20 and welcome to the Modded Minecraft panel here at MINECON Earth. We've collected a bunch of misfits and modders to talk to you guys a little bit today about how modding Minecraft works, what mods are all about, and what mods are available for the Java edition of Minecraft. So without further ado, I think I'm going to introduce these guys. So starting over here on our left, we have Drullkus.
Hi, I'm Drullkus. I do Chisel and Twilight Force, but I've done other Minecraft mods. I've been modding for 5 years, I think, 4, possibly. I do both textures and programming.
Great. Great to have you here, bud. Next up.
All right. Hi, I'm Vazkii. I am a modder from Portugal, and I've been doing this for like 7 years now, so I'm pretty much a veteran at this point. You probably know me from the Quark mods, but if you don't, I've also made Britannia Psi and a bunch of other ones. And I hope you like my stuff.
Awesome, awesome. Mr. King Lemming?
Hey, I'm King Lemming. I make a mod called Thermal Expansion. It's a tech mod that's been pretty prolific in the scene for about 6 years now. I've also helped a little bit on Forge, and it's basically been my experience with Minecraft.
Cool. Glad to have you here, bud. Over here to my right, we start with Amadornes.
Hello. I'm Amadornes. I make quite a few mods. I've been modding for about 7 to 8 years now. But I'm currently focusing on making the tools that these guys need to make their mods.
Cool. And last and certainly not least.
Hi, I'm Brandon James Pierce. You may know me as kingbdogz. I'm in a team called Gilded Games, and we are known for Aether 1, Aether 2, and now Orbis.
Cool. All right. Well, since the topic of this panel is modding Minecraft, let's start off with a very simple and basic question. What are mods? What do they do for you, and how do they work?
Mods are essentially modifications to the game that allow you to expand on the already existing content, to add new stuff or modify what's already there in pretty much any way you can think of. There are mods for tons of games, but Minecraft is especially flexible in terms of what it lets us do with our mods.
Yeah, I'd say there's really not much of a limit to what you can add. I mean, it's just, at least with the Java edition, it's very open. We're going to discuss that, I'm sure. But, you know, new dimensions, new blocks, new items, everything across the board, so.
So all kinds of crazy stuff for the most
basically,
part?
yeah, like we kind of saw.
Yeah, you can have like all kinds of like super crazy stuff, completely change the way you play the game. Or you can just be a bit more grounded down to earth and just make some really simple stuff. Just add a few little simple things you want, like you're playing the game, and you're like, oh, I really wish I had a clay bucket because it's more balanced. So you can just grab the mod and add that. There's hundreds of hyper-complex mods and thousands of simple ones that just do the vanilla thing, but a bit more to it.
Very cool. So what kind of different mods or types of mods are there? I know there's Forge, which is the topic that we're talking about, but there's other types of modding available, right?
Oh yeah. So one of the kinds that most people have probably interacted with in the past is server-side mods. So if you've ever played minigames, you've played with server-side mods. Those essentially allow you to modify how the game works, but they don't allow you to add new content to it. So they're a bit more limited than what we're going to be talking about, but they are still very, very powerful and very prolific.
Sounds good.
Then there's also Bedrock Edition. There's a really actual modding. There's apparently the modding API that's going to be coming out soon. But currently on this day, there's the add-ons, which lets you change the mobs and like the models, how they behave, all of that. And these are these can come eventually installed, but you can also get them through maps on the marketplace.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think it's worth mentioning that already one of the Java modders, Pam, who makes Harvestcraft, now has a map released. So we're starting to see that transition now. It's kind of, it's a cool thing.
Right, right. And then the main focus of this panel is the Java-based mods or Forge mods. And I think Brandon here is going to talk a little bit about them.
So a lot of the mods are done with Forge, and without Forge, you couldn't have any of the mods that we've all worked on. And shout out to Lex and CPW for that, because without them, none of this would be possible. They've done amazing work. So yeah, you can get all of that through CurseForge and Twitch API and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
we'll be
main
talking
thing-
about some of that as we go
So the
through.
main thing here is that when you go to a server, the server has mods installed, but you don't have to install anything on your game to use them. And if you go to Bedrock Edition, you can grab them from the marketplace. But right now, it's still limited. They're going to be working on adding more stuff. But if you want this to add all sorts of new stuff and all sorts of actual new content, then you're going to need to get Forge installed in your game and for Java Edition.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about a little bit later in the panel how to do that, because it's really very easy and very straightforward.
Yep.
Extremely.
So there's a lot of different types of Forge mods out there, a huge variety. And what we've chosen to do is kind of break them into categories. And it's really hard to categorize these mods because so many mods exist that add so many different features to the game, right? So the first category that we're going to talk about are building enhancement mods. Basically, Minecraft at its core is a game about building, right? So when you build things in Minecraft, it's a lot of fun. Everybody enjoys it. So one of the first types of mods that came out were mods that add more building materials. So I think we have a quick clip here to show you guys an example of one of the building mods that's available. Let's take a look. Are you a builder looking for just a few more decorative blocks available in modded Minecraft? Well, look no more, because now we've got Chisel. Did I say a few? I meant literally hundreds. You've got blocks for building factories, blocks for building ancient temples. Some blocks are animated, while other blocks can connect with one another. And some are so large you have to place multiple blocks together to get an idea of what it really is. So if you like building and feel like you could use a few more blocks, definitely check out Chisel. Great, so the Chisel mod, I think Drullkus here on the panel had a heavy influence on making that thing. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that mod, Drullkus?
Dude, I textured some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm the artist for the mods, and so it's a mod that lets you have a tool, and it lets you take a block and transform it into a bunch of different variations, and so there's like so many different textures. I've probably done over
Thousands, I would think. It's
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah.
man.
Last time we said
least, yeah.
1,500.
Yeah.
At least 1,500-ish, right? Blocks
Yeah, I
added
think
by
so.
Chisel?
something like that.
Yeah.
Probably.
So,
Good job.
So you get more than even vanilla Minecraft. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, by an order of magnitude.
and one of my favorite features of that is how those blocks can connect to each other. They can be animated. There's a lot of different ways that those blocks can work.
lots of
right?
really fancy stuff you can do.
And we saw also another type of building mod in the beginning intro video. We saw a mod where you're able to like take a single block and break it up into smaller pieces, right? So I think, Emma, you were going to talk about that.
Yeah, so that mod was Chisels and Bits. And what that mod is all about is it lets you break down a block into a 16 by 16 by 16 grid, which is essentially per pixel. And it lets you combine them in the same block space with other blocks. So you can make very complex patterns. You can mix and match blocks in the same space, and you can do all sorts of really cool stuff with them.
Can you make spheres?
Pixelated spheres.
Blasphemous.
You're saying we can have two slabs in one spot?
Sure.
Yes,
Cool.
totally.
Okay.
Nice mod done.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
You're done.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Cool.
Screw you. This one's better.
Sorry,
Cool.
Drullkus.
And if I remember right, actually, you just joined kind of the Builders Mod Club, correct?
I did. After years and years of reviewing mods, I finally decided to make one myself. So I worked on a mod called Building Gadgets that allows you to build large structures and copy them and share them with your friends. All right. So that's a work in progress a little bit still.
It's very fancy.
So that's an example of a mod that allows you to build a little bit better, right? It gives you more blocks to build with. However, some players decided that they wanted to advance the technological age of Minecraft and add complex machines and electricity and power systems, right? Some people decided they wanted to do that.
Ears are burning.
Yeah. So we have a video here to demonstrate one of those types of mods. Are high-tech machines, gadgets, and logistics more your speed? Then you should check out the thermal suite of mods. Item ducts transfer items just like hoppers do, except you get to filter them, either on the input or the output side. And connecting multiple chests to the same ducting system is totally doable. Fluid ducts work just like item ducts, except they transfer liquids, and liquids can be stored in tanks for use. Thermal dynamics introduces its own power system, sort of like electricity. You can create electricity using generators, store it in energy cells for use later, and then transfer it to machines that can do work for you. There are dozens of machines available, including this one that can melt down materials into liquid form, which can be used for all kinds of interesting purposes. Lots of different liquids exist, and you can even throw them using floors. And what tech mod wouldn't be complete without a Futurama-style transport system? This is the thermal suite of mods. All right, as one of the principal developers of that mod, we have KingLemming.
Hey, thanks, Dyer. Really appreciate the video. So basically, as it kind of went over, it's all about adding machines and technology to the game. So that can be items. They're usually kind of rooted in the real world a little bit, things like drills and saws. Like Minecraft has the furnace, which is basically its machine, and then a lot of these tech mods are adding 16, 20 new machines. So content-wise, it's a substantial amount of stuff. Are there
lasers?
There are lasers.
I like lasers.
Yep.
All right, sign me up.
Question. Do flowers count?
Only your flowers, actually. Yes.
All right.
They do count.
Let's go.
Very cool. Yeah, so there's a large amount of tech mods available out there. And another one that comes to mind that just makes me think for tech mods is as you add more and more mods to your gameplay, you're adding more items, you're adding newer blocks, and you need to expand your storage capabilities. Chests just maybe don't work after a while because there's so many new things. So are there any mods out there that expand the ability to store all this new stuff we're getting?
Oh yeah, for sure. The two main tech mods that are focused on inventory management are planar logistics and refined storage. And they both let you turn your items into essentially bits inside of a disk. And you can store your items that way. You can import them into your system, export them, use them for auto crafting, all sorts of really cool stuff, all within that networked system.
Right, so if I'm really sloppy with my chests and I'm bad at organizing things, that might be a good mod to grab.
Yep, you can just throw the items into the system and pull them out whenever you want them.
Great, and it organizes them for you and you can search for them. So it's a
Yeah.
really pretty nifty mod. So we've talked about tech mods. Some people kind of consider this the opposite of tech mods, but Minecraft has a built-in foundation of magic, right? So there's enchantments and there's some magical abilities going on in Minecraft. And a lot of modders decided, let's expand upon that. So we have a video here to show in a moment that shows the examples of a magic mod that also happens to be an exploration style mod. So another great part of Minecraft is the ability to explore the area and check out new locations. So let's take a look at the Twilight Forest. Are you interested in the adventuring aspects of Minecraft? Then maybe the Twilight Forest is where you need to go. The Twilight Forest realm comes with its own set of challenges and mysteries, but don't worry, there's a map to lead you to where you need to go. With dozens of different structures, like the Wizard's Keep, to new bosses to fight, like the Naga. And be sure to watch out for the Twilight Lich. He's a little bit tricky. There's a little something for every budding adventurer. This is the Twilight Forest. So Drullkus, you worked on the Twilight Forest as well as Chisel. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that mod?
That Naga was crazy, yo. So it's an adventuring type mods where you've got this magical forest and it's got a bunch of hostile entities. So you're just going through all these dungeons and you're killing the bosses and you're looting and you get all sorts of crazy treasures just doing all this.
Right. So where the vanilla gameplay has the Wither and the Ender Dragon, Twilight Forest adds about 20 new bosses to the game, right? Roughly.
A little less, but it's like there's the Hydra, there's the Naga, there's the Lich, there's the Urgas, and we're not even done. We still got the final castle.
Yeah.
Kind of like Zelda almost, I think.
Yeah, it's a good Zelda-ish kind of style gameplay, right?
Absolutely.
And there's other mods that add dimensions and stuff. So I think Brandon here wanted to talk.
Yeah, so I've actually done two mods, the same IP basically. It's Aether 1 and Aether 2. But either one focused just on adding like a Skylands and floating whales and all that good stuff, and lots of dungeons, bosses. But then the cool thing about Aether 2 is we actually explored this idea of having a sort of a story to a mod, which is not something you see too much in Minecraft modding, especially because it's a very like emergent storytelling thing where you as a player, you're the one that's creating the story, but this tried to do sort of something in between where it's still your story, but there's something guiding it along a little bit with dungeons and bosses and NPCs you can talk to. So I found that really cool.
Yeah. If I remember right, the Aether was like one of the first major dimension mods, right?
Yeah.
Like it came out as
Definitely was,
a counterpoint to the Nether.
Yeah, yeah.
A while ago. Yeah, it's well done on that.
The Aether is so old. I learned how to make mods by looking at the code of the Aether, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
been a long
I learned
time.
that recently. It's
been a long
amazing.
time.
It's definitely one of the very first mods that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the first big ones.
Yeah. And in addition to those exploration type mods, there's pure magic mods like Thaumcraft, right? And I think a lot of people who have been familiar with modded Minecraft have probably heard of and played with Thaumcraft, right? Vaz?
Yes. Thaumcraft is that big elephant in the room that everybody who gets into modded is like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah.
And you probably saw it in the intro, those little fancy particle effects and stuff going on. That was Thaumcraft.
Yep.
It is, I think without a doubt, the biggest magic mod out there in terms of popularity. I'd
Oh
say.
yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, Asnor does fantastic work.
It's massive and it's amazing. Just a few examples of stuff you can do. You can make like these cool gauntlets that cast spells. You can make like lightning bolts and stuff. And you can have these, like the iron golems. You can make like very tiny ones.
Oh yeah.
And they just walk around and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put this one shearing sheep, and it just goes like shearing sheep. And this one's gonna transport items. They can do all sorts of stuff for you. It is super interesting and it's super well polished. And if you are gonna try out modern Minecraft, that's one you definitely need to check out.
Yeah, that's
so
the one.
Can I actually make them like store my items like a AE system?
They can move stuff around.
Oh, yeah.
They are very intelligent.
Yeah, they can
Really?
bring you
Yeah.
items too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah. So magic mods are another type of mod that are out there. Really, modded Minecraft can be used to expand any aspect of the game. So we've expanded exploration, we've expanded the magical capabilities, we've expanded the ability to build. And next up, let's talk about redstone, because I don't know, when I first started playing Minecraft, I thought redstone was like the coolest thing, and that's what I got into.
It is.
So,
It still is.
yeah, no, it's definitely cool. So let's take a look at Super Circuit Maker. Do you like playing with redstone, but don't like how much space is required to build complex contraptions? Then Super Circuit Maker might just be the mod for you. Place down a blank circuit, and then place tiny piles of redstone dust on your circuit. You can place down lamps or torches, and about a dozen other things to help with your redstone needs. Circuits can even be chained together if you need to build something really complex. And don't worry if you're not super good with redstone, it comes with a bunch of blueprints that will help out, like the AND gate. It even comes with a built-in monocle, so you can zoom in and see what's happening. With Super Circuit Maker, anything is possible with redstone. So Amadornes, that was your contraption right there.
Yeah, it was. So SCM has been a whole lot of fun to work on. It's probably the most fun I've had modding in absolute years.
Yeah.
And it essentially allows you to build regular redstone circuits, but at a much smaller scale. But it also adds a bunch of other like very neat tools. You can do analog redstone. You can have levers that you can toggle with a signal. And you can do lots of very, very cool stuff that you cannot do with vanilla redstone. You can even build on walls.
Right.
So that is something that players have been looking for a long time. And there you go. You got it with SCM.
I think it's really neat, but I'm an engineer, so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it is a really great mod.
Yeah, it needs a pretty good mod.
Neat is a great mod.
Neat is a very great mod.
Yep.
By Vazkii, by the way.
Yes.
I've heard that, yeah.
And speaking of, so we've seen all these mods that add these crazy complex features to Minecraft, but, Vazkii, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to crash the party again and bring you guys down to earth for a second. Because I'm sure everyone who likes how Minecraft itself is structured, you're looking at, and I don't want 3 billion blocks, I don't want some new dimensions. And if you do, you really should, they're really great.
Yeah.
But if you don't, there's also a bunch of mods out there that are more down to earth and okay, I like how vanilla is, let's add just a few little things to it. I spoke a bit about it before, but there's other bigger ones that are just designed to completely enhance the way you play Minecraft itself without modifying the way you play Minecraft itself. And I got one I want to show, which is called Quark. It's really big, it's got a lot of stuff in it, but it's all around the vanilla team, and Darius got a video for it.
Well, if you want to show it, I guess we can.
I mean, yeah, I'll just ask for it, please do it.
All right, go for it.
Cool.
The Quark mod has one binding principle, and that's to add a bunch of cool stuff to Minecraft without compromising the vanilla gameplay experience. Additions include chests made from different types of wood, including buttons to help you sort those chests and transfer items in and out of them. The Ender Watcher, which emits a redstone signal when you look at it, great for making doors. The ability to place chests within boats, ride around in the boats, and access that chest's inventory. Additions to World Gen, including crystal caves. Underground biomes, like the Brimstone biome. It even adds nifty emotes, like the wave. Or the facepalm. There are literally hundreds of different features, each separated into different categories. And all of these features have an in-game configuration system. Quark truly looks to extend your vanilla gameplay experience. So absolutely, I think that if you're just getting new into modding and you're looking to have a few tweaks and a few extensions to how you currently play Minecraft, Quark is definitely a good one to take a look at.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, for sure.
That was my idea there. I wanted it to be like the introductory thing. You get into modded, you grab Quark, and then 6 hours later you have to be under mods installed in your mod pack. So
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot more accessible than magical flowers.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit more accessible.
you
That's
can
true.
look at my book.
I know.
It's there.
I know.
You don't
So-
have one.
I don't. That's true.
I'm glad you mentioned mod packs too, because when I've encountered players who are new to mods, they get a little confused between the difference between a mod and a mod pack. So, who wants to tell us a little bit about mods versus mod packs?
I may as well talk about it. So mod packs are essentially groups of mods. They're usually tailored experiences. There's mod pack makers that spend hundreds and hundreds of hours combining mods together, configuring them, changing recipes, all that sort of stuff to make a full cohesive experience and something that is completely new and completely different from how the game normally plays.
Right.
Yeah. Can I crash the party again?
No.
I'm here.
Stop crashing the party,
That's
buddy.
the only thing I do in this panel. All right. Well, I'm going to crash the party again and say that if you, the player, wants to put like a few mods you like together, it is super simple to do that, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit.
Right.
But for now, I want to tell you that even though you have these crazy experiences that you can go and easily download with one click, actually, it's actually very nice nowadays,
Yeah.
that completely changed the way you play the game. You can also get really simple stuff. You can also say, oh, I want to just add this and this and that, and you put them together, you upload them to the site, and you can very easily share them with your friends and make this compilation of mods, which you can play with your friends. Just send them the link, make a server, play with it. It's fun, and it's easy.
Yeah.
You don't have to go for the crazy stuff. You can always be more down to earth, which is something. That's why I'm crashing the party so much, because there's this massive misconception around modding that it's all crazy stuff that completely revamps the game. It can be if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be.
And if you want that kind of experience, a well-curated, crafted mod pack, those exist. You can just go download those, go find them, and I think it's worth mentioning there is a mod specifically called Craft Tweaker made by Jared. It helps all these mods kind of glue together and mesh. It's really well done, and he deserves a shout out for that because it makes some of the crazier modding scene possible.
Right.
Yeah, and massive shout out to everyone working at the crazier modding scene, because you may not even recognize the game as Minecraft anymore. That's how.
You're still one of us. You can't get away from that. Sorry.
No, I'm trying to. I've crashed the party 3 times. That's enough.
Okay. Yeah.
No
I
more
agree.
crashing.
Yeah,
no more crashing. We're done with
Okay,
crashing.
all right.
Please don't.
So speaking of mod packs and having custom maps built, we've shown a lot of mods that are useful to amplify your survival gameplay experience, but some people like playing in creative mode, right, where they can just build really cool and large structures. And one of the mods that's available, just recently came out actually, is called Orbis, and really helps out with that. So let's take a look at it. Orbis is a highly advanced world editing mod that allows you to create, edit, and share structures. Fill mode can be used to fill in areas with blocks. You can also undo it if you make a mistake. Delete mode can be used to delete large areas of blocks from the world. And if you hold a certain block in your hand, it'll only delete those types of blocks. Selection mode allows you to select an area of the world. And then you can copy it and paste it again. And if you make a mistake, you can easily undo it. Blueprints can be made with multiple layers. Layer 2 is the gold, while Layer 1 is the stone. These blueprints can be saved and shared with your friends. With about a dozen other structures that I haven't yet shown here, Orbis is a mapmaker's dream. So Brandon, dude, I gotta say, when I saw that mod, I was blown away. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, well done.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I've been working on it for quite a while. I've actually been programming and modding for like 9 years now. And the reason why I started this is because I just wanted to make the whole process of making content easier. And so that helps, for mod developers, it helps for artists, it helps for mod packs, which is, sort of the segue into Orbis, where you can just, all the content and all the mods that you have, you can create the little bridges of content that connect it all together to make it this cohesive experience. And to be able to do that without programming, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the next big question is, I'm a player, I want to play with these mods, I've never played with them before, how do I get them? Like, where do I go to get these mods and start playing with them?
CurseForge.
CurseForge.
Yeah.
Or Twitch.
Or the
So-
Twitch app.
Yeah, we all agree on this one, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
So CurseForge has become the repository where a lot of mods have been stored, and the easiest way to access them is through the Twitch app, which is available at app.twitch.tv. And it's basically a point-and-click interface. I want this mod, click, and it installs it. And then you hit the game, and you can start playing with it.
And you can do the
make
same for mod
as
packs
well.
too.
You
can
can
install
mod packs
in
and
one
share them with
click.
your friends and play them together.
Yeah, this is the way to go.
Absolutely.
very mature ecosystem at this point.
Very
So
well put together.
none of you guys work for Mojang or work for Microsoft. So does that mean anybody can just make a mod? Like,
Yep.
Not anybody.
Absolutely.
But
I
no,
mean,
actually,
almost
no, you,
I did it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Let's be honest.
no,
yeah.
it is a lot easier than
Then
people
it-
think.
yeah.
Offhand, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So do you have to be a programmer? Like, do I have to know programming to get into making mods?
Well, I didn't, and I'm here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Drullkus
Yeah,
started with
Drullkus does
texture
other
from-
stuff.
Yeah. So
You
Drullkus.
don't really have to be a programmer to get into modding, because as you saw with the Chisel mod, I've been just doing texturing for that for maybe a year or so before I really got into helping out with the code. And I mean, the other people on the team have done a fantastic job, but it's awesome being able to help out.
And it was like a year straight. It's a lot of textures.
Yeah.
It is a lot of- yeah.
So no programming required, just artistic skill on your part, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think hardly any of us were programmers before we started playing with mods. So we used that as a segue to get into programming, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I knew programming, but
go
not
with that.
Java, and
Right.
that's how I learned it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually really easy to get into coding, programming, and modding, like all in a package, because you are playing the game and you're like, okay, I want to make this thing. So you start looking at the resources required to make that thing. You start looking at the Java tutorials and the modding tutorials, which are all very well laid out. So if you want to get into programming at all, not even just for modding, I highly recommend you do that. I highly recommend you grab an idea you want to make and then you look at modding and how to get into it. That's how I got started, and yeah, I'm here. So.
And I think your passion will actually drive you to learn.
Oh yeah,
Like,
having an objective.
just knowing that, like, wow, I can do all this stuff if I just, learn a few skills. It really drives you. I really think so.
For sure.
And do you think the skills you guys learned in making mods are helping you now?
Absolutely. I mean, I've learned management skills. I've learned marketing skills, just time management. It's like there are so many skills there that are actually valuable in just day-to-day life, and it's just from making mods.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've learned game design from it, which is a very, very difficult thing to do. If you, as a viewer, know what game design is, it's really, really complex. But making something that is fun, that is entertaining, that is cohesive as a whole, is really, really difficult. And I think a lot of mod developers have learned that through modding.
Right.
Yeah, it's never just like, oh, it's a game or something. How hard could it be? Actually, kind of hard.
Yeah.
A little,
Yeah.
little effort goes into it. But yeah, I personally learned how to use Git because even though I've coded for years, I never really picked it up. So workflow tools, things like that. So it's been helpful.
You got a lot of really basic experience of all sorts of stuff you want to do, because in a way, the workflow for modding is somewhat similar to the workflow to an actual job. Because you're getting tickets coming in with bugs, and you're doing all sorts of stuff, and you're doing texturing, or maybe having someone else texturing.
Yeah.
It's the art pinata right here. But I, for example, got into computer science. I'm studying computer science right now, and I got into it because I got into coding first. I got into modding, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I want to do this. And here I am. So if you're interested in the field of computer science, which actually has a lot of requests and job opportunities, give modding a shot. You might actually enjoy it, and you might find something you want to seek as a career. And if you don't, well, you still had fun, I guess, hopefully.
And at the end of the day, like, it's just easy to learn skills when you're something you're passionate about and it's something that you think is a hobby.
Yeah, that's the best way to learn.
So do you guys feel like you've had some career opportunities come out of what happened when you got into modding?
I mean, we're all here right now, which has been really cool and a lot of fun. But I've had a couple of friends that have worked with me on the mod. They have actually had great career opportunities from this. So one of them is doing texturing now professionally. Another one actually works at Twitch, and it's been excellent for their careers. And I regret nothing. I mean, this has been awesome. And
I think we can even say that like a few of the new recent hires at Mojang have come out of the modding.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they
have.
So,
Hojo, Fry, Sarge, who got hired like a few years ago already. Professor Mobius.
Right.
There's a lot of people working
and
on the game
originally
now.
even the bucket team.
Right.
Yes,
Exactly.
That too. Yeah.
Dinner bone.
So long story short, guys, that's a lot of what you should know about Forge modding. It's a lot of fun to play with. It's very easy to access. It's very easy to find and download these mods nowadays. Back in the day, it was a little bit of a barrier to entry, but it's pretty cool. And if you're interested in making your own mods, highly recommend you take a shot at it. This is Darwolf20 and the group of misfits here on the Modding Minecraft panel. Hope you guys enjoyed it and enjoy the rest of MINECON Earth. Take it easy, guys.
Bye. See you later.
Yep.